Hi, Bruno here. Welcome to Spainguru.
Will a US physician income be taxed solely in the US, or will Spain apply a different taxation system based on the tax treaty with the US?
Now let's see the specific question of this Spainguru community member.
I'm considering a move to Spain via the NLV route, but I have an interesting to me quandary. I am a US physician and I want to keep working, and I do qualify for non-lucrative visa without continuing to work, but my licensure wouldn't carry over to Spain, so I would have to keep working sporadically in the US, probably flying back every 6 to 8 weeks and doing a block of shifts in the US. I believe the non-lucrative visa requires me to spend at least 180 days in Spain, which I think I could meet with that schedule, although it may be a challenge. Reading Article 7 of the US-Spain Tax Treaty, this seems to apply to me as a physician and states such income may be taxed in the other contracting state if such resident has or had a fixed base regularly available to him in the other contracting state for the purpose of performing those activities. In that case, only so much of the income as is attributable to that fixed base may be taxed in that other contracting state. Unquote. I'm wondering, if I were to work in, say, Delaware, maintain an abode in Delaware, would my income taxation from this revenue be solely taxable in the US and not in Spain? Or does the language of the treaty imply a system more akin to this? My tax rate in the US is 30%, Spain's 40%, so Spain credits me 30%, I owe to the US and taxes me the difference of 10%. I have the option of rendering my services as a business or C Corp as opposed to a sole proprietor if that makes a difference.
Now let's see the answers of Spainguru community members.
First answer, if your work in the US is less than 6 months a year but is regular and you show a residence there, you should qualify to keep that money taxable in the US. However, you should talk to a good accountant here in Spain and in the US to verify. Next answer, you really need tax advice before applying for the visa as to what implications would be and what residence is best to obtain. Next answer, I would first consider that non-lucrative visa is being denied because people haven't left their jobs. Non-lucrative visas is intended for retirees or those with means to support themselves without working. Some consulates even go as far as to require affidavits indicating a resignation. Next answer. If you want to live in Spain for more than 5 years, then you need to spend less than 10 months outside Spain in those 5 years. If you exceed that total, you will be denied permanent residence at the 5-year mark. Next answer. Be careful, I read somewhere that if you intend to apply for this residency when your 5-year non-lucrative visa period is up, you can only be outside for a total of 10 months during those 5 years. Next answer. Non-lucrative means not working anywhere, not Spain and not the US. If you are of working age, you will need to prove receipt of a pension or provide a termination letter from your employer stating that you will no longer work for that company, or in case of self-employment, you will need to provide an affidavit before notary stating that you agree not to work while residing in Spain. In the case of retirees, the applicant must be beneficiary of a state pension in convertible currency or be a beneficiary of a life annuity not capitalizable, payable by a public or private institution in convertible currency, and or investment accounts. You'll need to attach bank statements from the last 3 months and a copy of the last tax return. Residency applicants cannot have or leave loans or mortgages in the United States when applying for residency in Spain. This is not exactly true. Next answer. I think you can leave to work somewhere else as long as you meet the residency requirements to renew. Regardless of whether you're a business or working as an employee, you are going to be required to report your worldwide income and be taxed on it by outrageous amounts. I don't think anyone here has your situation, so consulting a few professionals and seeing what the consensus opinion is would be a good idea. I'm sure they won't all give the same answer. Next answer. We just applied from Canada for our non-lucrative visa, and one of the major requirements was proof of no longer working. I have been retired for 10 years, but my husband is still employed at the time of application. He has given his employer 3 months notice for retirement. We hope to be living in Spain in 4 months' time, and we had to provide a copy of his letter of resignation, an acknowledgement letter from employer stating what his last day of employment would be, and a copy of the application he has made for his government pension. Next answer. You ask very good questions, but residency in Spain is ultimately designed for trigger tax residency. That's why the NLV is so limited in scope and prohibitive of remunerative work. The only option in this case is a golden visa or getting very creative with a C Corp and taking your chances with the Spanish tax authorities. Next answer. As a couple of other people have alluded to, you might want to seriously consider looking into a residency by investment, also known as the golden visa. This is still available in Spain, although it's being curtailed in Portugal. You need to purchase the property for cash worth more 500k. Only the first 500k euros must be cash, rest can be mortgage. The advantages of this visa are numerous. Your in-country time requirement is reduced to 1 day of each calendar year. You don't become a tax-paying resident until you're a resident in Spain for 183 days out of each calendar year. You can bring other family members, even elderly relatives, and most importantly, for you, there are no conditions placed upon your activities. You can work anywhere you please, come and go, or just be retired if you like. If you have the funds, this sounds like something you might suit you better. If it's not realistic for you, but you have enough savings to qualify for the non-lucrative visa, you just have to wait until you're ready to hang up the old stethoscope. In the meantime, there's no law against buying a condo in Spain and staying there whenever you like on a Schengen visa waiver, which is 90 days allowed in the Schengen zone out of 180 days rolling, which is why people call it the Schengen Shuffle. Next answer. NLV is for non-working. However, the ambiguity is that you aren't allowed to work for a Spanish employer, although Spain has a double taxation agreement with the US. This type of work complicates it. Quite a unique scenario for which you definitely need a tax consultant versed in this area. Next answer. NLV means exactly that you are not allowed to work as far as I am aware anywhere. You might get away with it for a while, but they will eventually catch up with you when you file a tax return. If and when you get caught, they will nail you to the floor and your chances of obtaining any kind of visa to live in Spain will then be zero. Next answer. I believe as part of passive income, you can receive money through investment, rent, or employment on the non-lucrative visa as long as you are not actively involved in that employment and you are hands-off. In addition, as others have said, you cannot get permanent residency in 5 years if you are out of the country for more than 10 months in that time frame. The non-lucrative visa probably isn't the right visa for you, but it may be good for a spouse or civil partner and family they don't work. If you go to the website of the Spanish consulate that covers your state, you could look up your visa options to see if there is one that's a better fit. Barring that, you're allowed to visit up to 90 days in every 180 days in a given year. Next answer. Check with the Citizens Advice Bureau on all the visas available. Also check with a Spanish immigration lawyer on the other types of visa or the consulate closest to you and or the government of Spain website. Last answer. You can hold an online practice with patients in the United States. You can't work in Spain, but you can work for US patients or hospitals. Your income must be filed in both countries. Get a dummy tax return completed to see the hypothetical breakdown with the treaty.
And if you like this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. In conclusion, according to Spainguru's Facebook group members,
The question of whether a physician working in the United States while maintaining an abode there will have their income solely taxable in the United States or subject to a different taxation system under the US-Spain tax treaty remains unresolved. While some of Spainguru's Facebook group members provided insights and suggestions, it is evident that the situation is complex and requires professional advice from accountants, tax consultants, and immigration lawyers who specialize in US-Spain tax matters. The ambiguity surrounding the non-lucrative visa or NLV and its limitations on remunerative work further complicate the issue. Considering alternative options such as residency by investment, commonly known as the Golden Visa, may provide more flexibility for work arrangements while meeting the requirements for residency in Spain. Ultimately, seeking expert guidance and conducting a thorough analysis of the tax treaty provisions and visa options is crucial for individuals in this situation.
Join Spainguru's community today. You can join our general Spanish immigration group and our dedicated groups for Spanish non-lucrative visa and Spanish digital nomad visa. Our groups together have more than 30,000 members. If you need expert professional advice, we got you covered. Just head to spainguru.es and check out our top menu. You'll find immigration experts, relocation agencies, tax advisors for Spanish and US filings, sworn translators, apostille services, consulate appointment services, and health insurance providers for all types of Spanish visa applications. That includes non-lucrative visa, golden visas, student visas, and digital nomad visas, as well as medical certificates for visa applications and travel health insurance. Finally, I highly recommend you join our weekly newsletter, which we send out every single Monday morning. You'll get tons of information, questions and answers, featured blog posts, and news updates. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.